Hello Capricorn, welcome to my channel. Thank you for your support. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy the reading. This is a general life reading for the next while. I've already shuffled and laid out the cards, so let's start. Okay, so it looks like you're going to be having some kind of shift. It's going to be quite big, quite sudden, it looks like, and things are going to be moving quite quickly in some regards. Whatever it is going to affect your actual self, your sort of outlook, your view of the world, how you're moving forward in the world, your physical body, and how you approach your life at this time. And it's also going to affect your career and financially as well. But you've got some other positivity coming in here. So let's just see. Just remember that whatever the universe brings in, whatever transits we go through, it's always to hone us into a better vision or version of ourselves. So let's start here. We've got the first house. This, as I said, is yourself, your body, your physical body. So you could be changing something in that regard as well. If you're having children, that could very well be the case. But it's to do with your sort of awareness of yourself, but also of your direction and what you're projecting outwards. So what other people are going to see when they see you, your characteristics, your personality, but also how you are steering your ship in life. What direction are you going to? What's your sort of intention? What are you, how are you meeting the world? Everything to do with that. It's everything that makes up you, physically, and what others see at this time. So it's the house of the self. Okay. So now we have got, solar eclipse coming in, revolution. So this is saying there's going to be a big shift, in this house for you. So it could be physically, but it can also be to do with your demeanor, the way you are approaching things, the direction that you're going to be taking in life. It's what you're going to initiate at this time. So solar eclipse can be a very sudden, very abrupt turn of events. It can be a turning point. It can be an epiphany. And it can really be a massive change of direction, like a 180-degree turn. All right. And it can cause quite a bit of turbulence when that happens. Now, you can take this to whatever level you want. It could be it could also just be like your perception or your awareness level, like your perception of life and where you are in the world, and your view of the world could undergo a massive shift at this time. Solar eclipse is always about your mastery, your personal mastery. And this normally, solar eclipse normally affects your relationships, because this deals with yourself. So this is going to be yourself in any kind of relationship. It's also to do with your profession, what you're doing, and then also where you're living. So any of those things may be affected at this time. But it's about your self-mastery as well. So what it will do is some shift will come along and it will force you into the present moment to deal with certain things. And this is going to be really a revolution for you. And so however whether it's purely a perception and how you're orienting yourself, or whether it's physically the direction you're moving, or how you're looking, or how you're presenting yourself to others, whatever the situation may be. But it's going to be about your attitude and your beliefs about the situation. So, really get the situation in control, get your emotions under control, and be optimistic about whatever has been presented to you, because this is going to shift things for you, and it's going to turn you in the direction where you're going to learn more, you're going to understand more, and you're going to evolve, as a person. So it really is going to be a sea change for you, literally. And the number 44 may be important for you in this regard. We've got here at the top, Mawu, Mother Earth. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. So this could be a change of interests for you, something where you're directing your energy. It could also be that you are now becoming more aware of your environment, the earth, what you're consuming. And this can be in your home. So this can be the chemicals in your home. Are you recycling? And how are you living on the earth? Are you living gently? Are you doing everything you can to walk gently on the earth? What are you doing to look after your environment and also yourself within your environment? So this can also be about grounding. With this shift and change going on here, it could be that you need to ground yourself more. You need to spend more time in nature. It could also be that others are perceiving some sort of shift in you and you're coming across as more earthy and more grounded and more stable. Or you need to bring this in to you. But it can also be that you may be getting more involved with land or property matters or things to do with the land, conservatorship or farming or growing your own food or whatever is appropriate for you. Some of you may be having a kitchen garden. There's some sort of shift, but I feel it's going to be more earth directed. There's some sort of shift, and your attention and how you are moving forward in your life is going to be more directed in a sort of a more natural and conservatorship role. So whether you're recycling or you're getting involved in that, or you are just thinking more in the terms of, future, where you're going to be in 5 years' time, where you're going to be in 10 years' time, and getting closer to nature in some way, shape or form. I feel that is coming in for you. Now, with this shift, the solar eclipse revolution, this is going to, as I said, cause you to look at something. Either it's going to be a new thing or a change, a complete change of direction in either relationships, what you're doing, or where you're living, or it could be all three. But it can also be that there's something existing which you need to go into either fix, change, or create something better. Okay, bearing in mind that we've got Maui, Mother Earth here. So this is something that needs to be addressed. And this is going to force you into the present moment to do something about it. But whatever you do on the other side of this is going to be much better than what you had before. Okay. Now I'm going to move across here to the 10th house. So the 10th house deals with your profession, your career. It also deals with your public status. So how others see you in the world, or what is your position. So you could be going from self-employed to employed, or the other way around. Or you could be changing your public status in some way. Perhaps you've been, on a lower profile and now you're going to a higher profile, whatever the situation. Or you could be moving out of a situation which was a sort of a post of authority, and you're now changing that direction or changing something in this regard. It can also be about fame. If some of you are in that situation, there could be something coming up to do with that. Your reputation could be, because you've got Saturn return, you could be having a bit of a shift in that regard. Something could happen to change the way you are being perceived by others. It can also be to do with authority figures. So you may have an authority figure in your life. Now, this can be a parent or a manager or some other person which has it could even be somebody that you kind of like a mentor, something like that. It can also be an authoritative institution that is coming in for you. Something where you are either leaving or joining, or you're changing your view on it in some way. So it's, everything regarding all of those things, your responsibilities there, and your standing in society. It can be that, the sort of like you're building your empire. How are you doing that with the 10th house? Now we have got another very strong card coming in here, Saturn return age. So I do feel with this solar eclipse, something is coming in to shift you out of the way you have been thinking and living your life, or the way you have been, the direction that you've been going in. Okay, something is coming in. And with the Saturn return, this can come in the form of a cycle shift where you are now retiring, or you are leaving your current career and you're moving into another career, or you will be shifted out of that, or you are changing some other aspect of your life related to an authority figure. You could be moving on from a relationship. There's lots of ways that this can be coming in, or you could be going into a business or creating your own business. But Saturn return, what it will do is this can be perceived. Sometimes it can come to you in the form of a loss, or you are reaping what you have sown in the past. So something from the past could be coming back and delivering a result which you're not happy about. So it could be a disappointment, or it could be that you are now viewing something differently than the way you looked at it before. Now, this, as I said, can be like your lifestyle, or the way you have lived your life, or what you have been doing up until this point. You may find that whatever it is that you have been doing, or where you have been situated, has now reached a point where it's no longer serving you anymore. And now comes in the rethinking and the certain realizations coming to you now that whatever has been released or is going to be released is now going to give you an opportunity, and this is the gift of this, an opportunity to go after something or do something which is close to your heart, something that you could have, should have, or would have done had the opportunity been there or had circumstances been different. Perhaps you had a lot of responsibilities where you were located before, where you were situated, or in whatever your situation was. You had a lot of responsibilities, or you went into a career which was suitable for the time, and now you're looking at it and realizing that it's not anymore. Or there could be some other authoritative figure bearing down on you, or there's a shift within where you have been, and now you're not aligned with that anymore. So basically, you're not aligned with what is occurring now for you. And you have to release the past and move forward into the future, but you're going to be going after and doing something which is more aligned with you. It's a heart choice now. And this is where the gift comes in, because now you can release a whole lot of aspects that you've been carrying for this time, and go after something which is truly aligned with you. There's going to be work required. It's not going to be fast moving. And I feel once you've made up your mind and once you have decided what it is that is, how this is going to take shape, then you will move quickly forward. But this is about foundation building, and this is going to be the next chapter of your life. So now you're going to be foundation building on something which is really important and is heartfelt for you. Okay. So it could be that you are now going after your own dreams and goals instead of the dreams and goals of a collective, or where you have been working, or in a relationship, or in a business partnership. You're now changing that. And now comes in the release, and then you go after some other aspect. So there's a lot, but there can be, with Saturn, it can be quite oppressive. Sometimes that can happen. The return kind of pushes you to rethink things, to get a very realistic view of everything that has occurred, looking at the past so that you can bring hindsight. You can't live in the past. You can't make decisions on the past or the future. You can only make decisions in the present moment. So make sure you're making heart-based choices. Okay. If something is not aligned with you in this house, then it's time to let it go. Okay. Walk away, or change something, or go on your own, or do whatever is appropriate for you. Or you may have to stand up and actually, challenge whatever is occurring, because you feel that you're no longer aligned with what has occurred. Okay. But it can also be a reaping of what you have sown previously, and some things have worked and some things have not. Okay. And you need to cut away the things that are not working for you anymore. This is a time of releasing and moving forward into an area which is more suited for you. As I said, think about where you're going to be in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. The world is changing. Everything is changing. And you need to be more aligned with the outcomes that you can perceive at this time. And with the solar eclipse, I feel your consciousness and your perception of things is going to get a bit of an overhaul. Okay. So having said that, we have in the 10th house, we have Mart fairness. Now, this situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So as I said, this can be something that you are going up against. You are being challenged in this house, and you're not aligned with what has come out, and now you are standing firm about it. You may have to stand up for yourself, for your rights, for something in this 10th house which is dependent, your reputation and your public status. All of these things are crucial, your career, whatever it may be. So you may have to fight for something in this regard, or you may have to dive in to fix, change, or create something better. You may have to, as I said, bear the weight. You may have authority figures or authoritative institutions coming down on you at this time, or just challenging you in that regard. So you may have to get legal assistance, or you may have to just really research your position if you want to stay and you want to hang on to that, okay? Or you want to make it better. Bearing in mind that you may not be the only one in that position. There's a lot of that sort of thing happening at the moment. So just take it as it resonates, but there may be a legal situation of unfolding here, or it could be a negotiation or a mediation or a discussion. It could also be judgment, either your judgment or somebody else's on you. Okay, so Mart is here. So call on Mart. as I said, it could be a legal situation or whatever it is, but what it is saying is the situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. So do your research, do everything you need to do, find out what you need to find out, what direction you want to go in, how you want to handle this, if you're going for a complete change or you're reorienting something, whatever the situation may be for you. But it's saying that, there is also within this situation, you can put your case forward and you can say, this is my view, and this is what I am aiming for, and then release it to the universe, release it to Mart, and let things work themselves out. Do not get fixated on a specific outcome, because there may be many other aspects associated with this decision or this negotiation or this legal matter, and you cannot possibly see everything. You can't see everybody's point of view, but you will still have to put your case forward and go with that, but just be willing to work through to come to some sort of resolution or some sort of situation which is going to be helpful and progressive for everybody. Okay, so focus on that instead of gunning for a specific outcome, which at the end of the day may be tripping you up, actually. So hand it over to the universe, hand it over to God, and put it in the God box and let the situation unfold, but put your case forward, whatever the situation may be. But it could also just be a negotiation or a discussion, whatever the situation is. But Mart is with you in this regard. Okay, so now let's just go to the Fairy Tarot, the bottom of the deck. Release, let go of the past, an ending that makes way for new opportunities, time to move on. Okay, so I do feel that something is changing in your environment. You're letting go of something, whatever it may be. It could be a perception, it could be a reality which you have created, or it could be a position that you've been in, however that applies. But something is changing, and you're either changing it completely and going in a different direction, or you are realigning things so that they fit you now. Okay, for the new you going forward. But there is definitely something that is ending and something that is going to come in to take its place. And it's everything that you go through in that regard. But there's definitely a time to move on here in some way, shape, or form. Now, you could also be there is sensitivity coming in here. So as I said, with this Mart fairness, all right, you may be feeling, especially with the solar eclipse revolution, you could be feeling in this very sensitive mode, and certainly with everything that's going on. That is why it's important for you to ground yourself, do grounding meditation, spend time walking with barefoot on the earth or on the beach, hiking, spend time in nature, sit quietly on the ground, do all kinds of grounding or earthing techniques, or consider where it is that you are living currently. Perhaps you need to relocate or change something in your environment which is more related to your environment or to the earth or to growing things, or whatever the situation may be, or getting involved in some other aspect. Perhaps now you're having a change and you're going in a different direction, and now more earthy kind of things are coming in for you. So just take it as it resonates. But there's sensitivity here. So this could also be the way you are handling this situation, this challenge in your 10th house, and the way you are reorienting your life. And it could also be if you're dealing with others, there could be sensitivity coming in here, or it could be to do with your actual handling, your self-care, and your, as I said, your grounding, to keep your feet on the ground so that whatever is coming in to shift you here, that you can ride it, okay? Ride the waves and manage the change with positivity and optimism, okay? Now, we then go to the 8th house. 8th house is to do with your financial situation. This is normally big finance. So this is like investments, assets, banking, taxes come in here, also insurances, anything to do with that, okay? And it can also be, in some cases, because this house is sometimes associated with cycle shifts or death, and this is normally death of something in your life. In other words, something is falling away to make way for something new. And this has already come up. Okay, so it could be that something is being shifted and changed, and therefore other aspects come in. But it can also be to do with, it can in some cases be a physical passing of somebody, and then that is the case. If that is the case, then it's to do with legacies and inheritances, or you could be in a stage of your life where you are now setting this up. Legacies and inheritances. Perhaps you have children because you have children here, or you are just thinking about along those lines, whatever the situation is. Eighth house. So finance is a big consideration here, but it can also be to do with intimacy, and this is between you and your person. So sexual matters may be coming up. It can be a regeneration or a renewal, or it could be with a new person, or whatever the situation is. It can also be to do with, the union, you and your person, the union. How is that put together? The nuts and bolts of it. So your emotional and your material resources, how are they fitting together? Perhaps that needs a reorganization at this time because of things that are occurring right now. It can also be to do, so it's shared assets, things like that. It can also be to do with a partnership, as in a business partnership. So the same things apply. The coming together, perhaps your business and another business joined or merged, and then now you're changing something. So it's that coming together and the shared assets and so on, everything to do with a business partnership. It can also be to do with birthing something. So this can be an idea. It can be a physical birthing and you have children here, but it can also be to do with like an idea or a business or something related to that. Eighth house can also be dealing with other people's money. So you may be responsible for that, like a parent or some other aspect. It could be a business. That may be your business. It can also be that there could be things coming up with the eighth house. Sometimes things come up from the underworld, as it were, or something that could be hidden or that hasn't been acknowledged or hasn't been revealed as yet. Now, this could be your emotional aspects. It could be a financial aspect, whatever it may be. Something could be coming to the surface now, and that may now need to be attended to. And this could very well be triggered by this, or this could trigger this, whatever the situation is. But it's saying that there may be a few things that need to be dealt with at this time, whether it's how you feel or certain aspects that you need to deal with now coming up.